I made $3,500 last month by taking a video I didn't film and a language I don't speak and showing it to an audience I've never met. While everyone else is fighting for pennies in the saturated English-speaking creator market, the real money has moved into global localization. YouTube recently rolled out multi-language audio for almost everyone, and it has created a massive, desperate vacuum. Creators with 1 million subscribers in the US are hitting a growth ceiling, and they are terrified of being left behind while Mr. Beast takes over the world. They have years of back catalog content just sitting there gathering dust, when it could be generating millions of views in Spanish, Hindi, or Portuguese. This is the first time in history where you can walk up to a business and offer to double their potential audience without asking them to film a single new second of footage. If you aren't selling this, you're missing the easiest high-ticket arbitrage of 2026. Most people trying to do this are doing it completely wrong. They think they can just download a video, run it through a cheap AI dubbing tool they found on a top 10 list, and call it a day. The result is a video that sounds like a robot with a sinus infection. It's jarring, the timing is off, and the cultural nuances are non-existent. If you send a creator a sample that sounds like a 1990s GPS navigation system, they will block you before the first sentence finishes. The other mistake is relying on YouTube's auto-translate features. Have you actually looked at those? They are garbage. They miss idioms, they butcher technical terms, and they completely kill the creator's personality. To make real money, the kind of money where you're charging $3,000 per project, you have to move beyond the basic one-click tools and build a professional localization workflow. The actual method starts with client selection. Do not waste your time emailing Mr. Beast or the top 10 creators in the world. They already have entire departments for this. Instead, you're looking for the mid-tier Goldmine. These are creators in the 500,000 to 2 million subscriber range. They have a proven product, they have high production value, and they have the budget to pay you, but they are too busy filming their next video to figure out how to scale globally. Look for educational channels, tech reviewers, or storytime creators. These niches translate the best because the value is in the information or the narrative, not just a specific English language meme. Once you've identified a client, the workflow is a 4-step process that uses AI to do the heavy lifting while you act as the creative director. Step 1 is the nuanced transcription and translation. Forget ChatGPT for this. Use Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Why? Because ChatGPT is too AI. It's too polite and it translates literally. If a creator says, "That's fire," ChatGPT might translate it into a literal house fire in Spanish. Claude is significantly better at understanding slang, tone, and cultural context. You feed the English transcript into Claude and tell it to translate this for a high-energy Spanish YouTube audience using local slang and maintaining the original comedic timing. This is the difference between a video that feels native and one that feels like a dubbed infomercial. Step 2 is the voice. This is where most people fail. You need ElevenLabs, specifically their professional voice cloning tool. You don't want a generic Spanish male voice. You want the creator's voice, but speaking Spanish. You take a 5-minute sample of the creator's original English audio, clean it up to remove background music using a tool like Adobe Podcast, and then clone it. When you run your Claude translated script through that cloned voice, the result is eerie. It sounds exactly like the creator. This preserves the brand of the channel, which is the only thing the creator actually cares about. Step 3 is the visual synchronization. This is the part where you can charge the big bucks. If the lips don't match the words, it triggers an uncanny valley response in the viewer, and they click away. Use a tool like Rask.ai or HeyGen's translation feature. These tools don't just overlay audio. They actually reanimate the speaker's mouth to match the new language. However, here's my honest opinion. Don't over-rely on this for every single shot. If the creator is off-camera or there's B-roll playing, don't waste your credits on lip-syncing. Only use it for the high-impact talking head moments. This saves you money and makes the final product look more natural. Step 4 is the metadata. You cannot just upload a dubbed audio track and expect the algorithm to find an audience. You need a localized title, description, and most importantly, a localized thumbnail. Use Midjourney to recreate the text elements of the original thumbnail, but in the target language. If the original thumbnail had a big red arrow in the word crazy, your version needs to say loco, but with the exact same font and styling. You are delivering a turnkey package. The creator gives you a link to an English video, you give them back the audio file, the translated metadata, and the new thumbnail. Let's talk about the numbers, because that's why you're here. I don't charge per hour.
Charging per hour is for people who don't understand leverage. I charge per market package. A standard package for one video translated into Spanish and Portuguese starts at $500. For a mid-tier creator, that's a rounding error. But for you, once the workflow is set up, it takes about 90 minutes of actual work. The AI handles the rendering in the background. If you land one client with a library of 20 videos they want to localize, that's a $10,000 contract. I recently closed a deal where I took a 20% cut of the new revenue generated by the localized tracks. This is the ultimate AI income lab move. If the Spanish version of their channel blows up and makes $5,000 a month in AdSense, you get $1,000 a month for doing literally nothing after the initial setup. That is true passive income, built on the back of someone else's hard work and your AI expertise. The proof is in the retention metrics. I worked with a small tech education channel that was stuck at 200,000 subscribers. Their English growth had flatlined. We took their top 10 most popular tutorials and localized them for the Brazilian market. Within 3 months, their global revenue surpassed their US revenue because the competition in the Portuguese tech space is almost non-existent compared to the US. They weren't just getting more views, they were getting cheaper subscribers and building a global brand that allowed them to sell their digital products to a whole new hemisphere. If you want to start today, do not build a website, do not make a logo, do not post on LinkedIn about being an AI visionary. Nobody cares. Instead, pick one creator you actually watch. Take their most popular 3-minute video. Use the workflow I just gave you to localize the first 60 seconds of it into Spanish. Send them that 60-second clip as a gift. Tell them, I'm a fan of your work. I noticed you aren't tapping into the Spanish market yet, so I made this for you. If you like it, I can do the rest of your channel. This is the lead with value strategy. It is impossible to ignore. When they see themselves speaking a foreign language perfectly, their ego will do the selling for you. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It requires you to actually manage the tools and quality check the output. You have to be the bridge between the raw AI power and a professional finished product. But as far as AI side hustles go, this is the most logical, high-margin business you can start right now. The tools are ready, the market is starving for it, and the experts are still distracted by making AI art of cats. Stop being a spectator and start being the person who builds the infrastructure for the global creator economy. Go find a creator, clone their voice, and show them the money they're leaving on the table. Then send them the invoice. That's how you actually use AI to build a business.